Boom. Do do do. Boom 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 boom. Whoa whoa whoa. Wow. Wow wow wow. Wow wow wow. Wow wow wow. Wow 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 wow. Hey, you. Bow, bow, wow, 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 wow. What you doing? Bow, 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 bow. On the Sunday, what you doing? You got some questions that might need some answers. You got some things that need some confirmations, or you just might want to be entertained. Hey, you. Bow, 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 bow. What you doing? Bow, 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 bow. Are you looking for the art of manifestation? Are you looking for some earth magic friend? Or are you looking for our special oracle book, Lemurian Star Child Oracle? We're going to talk about Atlantis and Lemuria. We got some cards today. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a fun day, an exciting day. I'm going to move this light so it's not blinding y'all. Give me 1 second. That's still blinding. Hold on. All right. Is that better? Kind of? Sort of? we got picture to picture here, so that's good. All right. Welcome to Sundays with Suits. My name is Suits Healy. It's gonna be a great, great day. I got some rain and some thunderstorms in the back, so we're washing away all the bad, and we are bringing in the good. All right. So when we go ocean exploring, what's the first thing we need? What's the first thing we need? Anybody know? I can tell you. We need a ship. So the ship says, I'm not afraid of storms, for I'm learning how to sail my ship. So when you start exploring the depths of humanity, when we start exploring the depths of humanity, we have to really look into who we are as a person, right? And who we are as a people. It's very, very important. I highly recommend getting some anti-hematite, some Uncle Pyrite, right? You can get that at Soul Synergy. You can get that at Amazon. You can get that anywhere you need to get it. Uncle Jasper, right? This is a really good form of meditation too, right? It's harder than it looks. I'm horrible at it, right? Like I said, I use Oracle cards for mine. All right. We got one person watching. So for right now, we're just going to do, we're going to talk about internal dialogue. We have an internal dialogue within our mind, a constant stream of inner conversation. Is your dialogue kind, supportive, or affirming, or is it critical and judgmental of both yourself and of others? This card asks you to listen to your inner words. If necessary, take steps to constantly change your language. Okay. Ground yourself. Isn't this funny? Here's another one. This card is. What is the flashing for? Do y'all see the flashing? That's weird. Okay. Maybe it's. When you have storms, you have technical difficulties. In the movies, they call it a lightning warning. If it's raining and lightning and thundering, they ground you don't go on. But the show must go on. So bear with me 1 second. Okay, let's try this. This seems much better. Right? Much better. Much better. Okay. All right. Much better, right? Much better. Know why my collar. Who's watching? Say hello. Okay. All right. So first thing we're going to do, like we always do, we're going to start off with a good energy. A good energy. We're going to call him Well in. Well is the records keeper, right? As we go deep into the oceans of our depths of the oceans of our humanity and of ourself, right? I'm not afraid of storms, for I'm learning how to sail my ship. Okay? So you may want to use Well on that. Okay? Well is the records keeper. Joan, you can survive in a well, right? In the metaphysical well. You can survive. That's WHALALE, not WELL. But I do wish you all well. All right. Look at that cave. Isn't that funny? We got a cave. All right. As the sun sets, the crescent of the new moon appears in the distance as this ancestral human creates his art, painting on the walls of the cave in color drawn from earth substances. The fire warms him, the cave shelters him, and provides a refuge for the rest of the world. With its womb-like structure, it not only offers sanctuary, but also serves as a temple that houses his creative spirit, which eventually gives birth in the physical form of his artwork. Interesting. Why, oh why, won't it go down? Okay. All right. Note how absorbed he is in the process. He is no doubt has prepared for this creative ceremony by getting the fire going, mixing the colors, and gathering his sacred objects. His painted an image of sacred spiral, one of the most ancient symbols ever discovered. It's been depicted in artwork found in a variety of cultures and occurs frequently in nature in exquisite mathematical proportions, such as in the shape of a nautilus nutshell. A nautilus shell, excuse me. Talking about the ocean. So we're getting there, friends. We're getting there. It also shows up in burial sites around the world, representing the endless spiral of life and death rebirth. The grand and complex mystery so eloquently portrayed in a simple pattern. Cave. Sanctuary. The fire warms him. There's a quiet, still place inside you that will always be available as a sanctuary. Yet finding such a place in the natural world will enhance and complement this eternal place of peace. What do we say Virginia loves? Peace. We all love peace. Whether it is a cave, a meadow, a forest, a seashore. See, we get that ocean energy already. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Hey, Annette, how you doing? We got a new card deck. When more people start showing up, we're going to open it. Right? Right? We got a special deck here. All right. Whether it's a cave, meadow, forest, seashore, or any other setting in nature, this is where you can see, hear, and feel the presence of the Creator and your surroundings. Let it become a temple for your heart and soul. Rather than having your computer, television, or any other human made device or activity be your sanctuary, allow yourself to discover the perfect place in nature where you can simply be and breathe. Simply be and breathe. Wow. That's deep. Can I just simply be? And can I just simply breathe? Huh. Doing so bridges the connection between the internal, gotta see what's inside there, and the external, facilitating a spiritual communion that allows your being to be aligned in dramatic and quiet reverie with all that is. In today's busy world, it becomes even more critical to set aside time for sanctuary, even if you have to schedule it. Okay. Oh, look, we got rivers, so we're getting more ocean. So I feel a flow. So let's manifest those people coming on in. Send them in. Like and share this video. Tell your friends. Tell your countrymen. I'm betting somebody went over on one of these on either things or Phoenix Rising. The softened light from the sun falls upon the meandering river. The sparkles reflect the gentle movement taking place in the river's body. So as we prepare to start talking about Atlantis and Lemuria, right? As we start to talk about that, I want you to think about the river. So we're moving toward that area. And we still, if we only have 2 people watch, I have a lot of Atlantis and Lemurian cards here, and we'll just wait for either Tuesday or next Sunday. Okay. She moves easily around the curves and rocks. We have to learn how to walk. We have to learn how to curve like the snake. What's the snake? The transformations. We have to go whoop, doo, 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 right? She moves easily around the curves and rocks, sometimes gently as portrayed in this card, or sometimes quite rapidly and intensely. Still, the river's movement will always eventually land her in the bosom of the great grandmother ocean. I'm telling you, it's just a coming. I can feel the car and I can feel the people just resonating like do, 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 do. All right. Some of her water will evaporate along the way to feed the waters of the sky. Like we have rain right now. Just as it takes place in any other bodies of water, and bless the land and seas with the replenishment in a perfectly natural cycle that helps the planet sustain itself. Water is our lifeblood, a nutrient more essential than food. The flow of water throughout our own body serves as a metaphor for how life itself flows through us and expresses as us. Fighting or blocking the flow of life force can lead you to feeling spiritually void and disconnected from source. I know we've all felt like that at times. We're like, why won't you listen to me? Baby, I'm just asking God. I'm saying, God, I just need some prayers. I need some answers. Come on now. I just need you to hear me. I need you to hear me right now. I need you to get out there and hear me. I need you to let me feel it, God. I need to feel it. And you don't feel it. You feel disconnected. You feel like it's not there. You feel like, where is it? So you got to go out there and you got to find it. All right. You got to find it. You got to get out there and find it. Leave him over here. I think there's a little bit of a delay. Hi there, Carolyn Fox. Hi there, Carolyn Fox. Okay. So fighting. Okay, let me get back here. Hold on. What are you doing here? My wife, who usually comes in late at night, has now come home. Hey, baby. I love you. Well, that freaked me out. Not that my wife came home, but that's, So, yeah, the river. So we're getting there. I can feel it. Kayla, we can feel your energy. We can feel your Fox energy. We can feel it. All right. So let's dig into the liquid crystals. All right. Of Lemuria. Right. The Atlantean way of the children of light. So let's dig in here. Ready? Ah, Hemimorph. Hemimorphite. The egoless state. The master crystal. Greetings, child of the endless night. I thank you for reading with my frequency. Feel my gentle breath upon you. Now let me open you to the joy of the Creator, a vision reserved for those who hold the key to the egoless state. Let us now hold and activate the mirror of self. I offer you to freedom through self-respect and self-love on all levels. Yes, please. Search deep within. I told you we're going deep, right? We're going deep. Get your well out. We're going deep. Okay. Search deep within your heart to a glistening blue pools of loving expression realize. Ignite the white rose and purify. Allow the heart to become a filter for all that passes from you. Every breath unconditional and all loving. We have opened the path of truth. Through me now, through the universe, right? Not me, the universe. Through universe, now see your world and all within it. Know you are its creator. You are a part of this. Your happiness is but a self-reflection of this fact. Continue your journey and go deeply inward now, as self-realization can lead to your higher imagined potential. Let the world no longer cast a shadow, though your eyes, by choice, you are free. This is a great card deck. It's very beautiful, too, as well. Return the Atlantean Way for the Children of Light, right? By Blue Angel. I highly, highly recommend it. Okay? All right. So I promise you some Atlantean, Lemurian Atlantean stuff. Bear with me. I just got to get it down here. We can't open this until we get at least 6 or 7 people, because this is a special deck. And, we got to wait. Just a thing. But I do have another little deck we might can play with. Might can play with the Goddess deck. Might play with that. Okay. Okay. Before we get to Atlantis, we're going to go with the mermaids. Okay. So let's see what these gals are going to say. So we'll start setting up the energy like we did last week. Are y'all ready? Okay. These are beautiful cards. This is also Blue Angel. I think this is Lucy Cavendish, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is Lucy Cavendish. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. We got 3. We got 3 on it. Here we go. So I can't see this card. I can't see this card, but you can. But you can. We're gonna bring some ocean energy, cleanse our souls and our mind and friends. Mind and friends, we're gonna wake up and we're gonna realize that we have so much to be grateful for. Okay. Let the ocean tell me stories as we rise again. Let the ocean tell me stories. Ah, damn. I saw one. Okay. So we'll start with telepathy because that's there. Um, and then we'll have to close it out. Nonverbal communication, interject pulses, mind reading. Ain't that some classic, right? So the mind reading's in the heart. So when you are learning things about the world and the people that you love and that you care for, it's very important that you put yourself in the whale situation. Excuse me. The records keeper. And what do records keepers do? They keep the information safe, right? If you study anything about Atlantis and Lemuria and Akashic records and all and Lemurian crystals and Atlantis and all this other stuff, then you'll know one thing: records, history, technology. They found ways, in theory, to communicate with people in very different ways. So the fact that we get a non-verbal communication, interject pulses, mind reading. Now, wouldn't that be cool if lightning went, right? Be cool. We have like a Johnny Depp moment, like in the truck. Y'all, it just thundered. It just thundered. Holy shemikes! It just thundered. And it's still thundering. Wow, that's awesome. That's some cool stuff. I'm not afraid of storms, for I'm learning how to sail my ship. We are learning how to sail our ship as intuitives, as storytellers, as paranormal investigators, as light workers, right? Learning how to help sail our ship. So, here we go. Pull again, Lucy Cavendish. She has such great decks, so I highly recommend it. Here we go. What's this? We got this. Honor the masculine. So I'm going to tell you, I have a new deck coming in about 2 weeks. It's called The Divine Masculine. I found it on Amazon. I'm really excited. I know there's lots on Etsy, and I plan on getting some of those too. There's a lot of Divine Feminine. But there's not a lot of Divine Masculine. So honor the masculine, respecting men, embracing the masculine divine. Now, as we work and understand female and male, right, and how we communicate with one another, right, I think the other thing we have to do is we got two cards here. We have air, right, which is breathe deep, entering into life, exchange of life bringing energies. So we have to learn how to share our life with one another. It's very, very important. We have to learn how to share our life with one another. And we also have to reclaim, and when we're sharing our life, don't be afraid to share your authenticity. It's very important. If you look back here, there's lots of blue. In the ocean, there's lots of blue. Depth and communication. When you go deep, like I said in the video, like I said in the description, we don't want to get the bends. We want to be able to come back up safely. A lot of readers, a lot of intuitives, a lot of light workers, they get the bends spiritually. So we have to be very careful and very cautious with that. All right. Virginia's here. She's saying hello. Say hello, Virginia. Okay. As Virginia walks in, we get 3 people watching. So that's good. All right. The Yemaya and the freedom. All right. The Yemaya and freedom. So Yemaya is grandmother ocean, primordial. So we're getting there. We're getting to that Atlantis and that Lemurian. We're getting there. Independence and self-determination. I started writing a story a while back when I was younger about Lemuria and Atlantis. And this is before I knew anything really about them, right? But if you look at these, if there are two different, like Lemuria was a continent, right? Apparently, right? Like this big continent. And then something just disappeared. It went away. Atlantis, you know, historically, I'll tell you, I'm not a historian, not an archaeologist, not an anthropologist, right? But there's all these stories and these tales of this place that echoes about like this major hub in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, right? So you have to be aware. So these people were learning how to sail their ship, learning how to sail their ship. We are learning the Selkie and his or her skin, reclaiming your authenticity. So you may want to work with seal. Now I'm going to tell you, I have a seal on my table. I don't know if I have it right now. I may not have it. I may have it over there. But you know, that'd be interesting to see what the seal represents. I'll have to look that up and see. But you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 seals here, right? So let's just see, right? I know it's not all about. I know it's not this book yet, but like I said, we gotta. I gotta trust the universe on it. So I apologize. Don't be mad at me. Okay. 99. Reclaiming your authenticity. The mermaids sing. To receive this card is to receive a message from the most wise and kind of mermaids that you who are now reading this must return to the form in which you are free. And y'all, what did we talk about earlier? Ain't this, wait, where'd it go? Freedom. Cool. Come on, right? Come on. That's, you can't get, it's still crazy, right? Because the tale of Selkie is that of a creature who's been captured, who has had their deep wildness tamed, who has in some ways fallen into an amnesic state simply in order to deal with the loss. I think we've done that before. I think a lot of people right now are really where we're sort of recovering from a loss. It could be a loss of self. It could be a loss of faith. It could be a loss of uh, drives, a loss of creative vigor, a loss, right? Now, with loss, though, you also level up because your body is growing. God, universe only give you as much as you can handle. And so universe and God know what you can handle. Now you might be like, I can't handle that. If I have one more person die in my life, or if I get one more bill for $1,000, I'm gonna lose my collectiveness. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Right? But we gotta get back to authenticity. We gotta get back to it. Right? We gotta get back to it. We gotta understand that, hey, the universe is just giving us as much as we can handle. Okay? I have a really good friend, and she would always say to me when I was younger, because I would complain, and the woman would say, "Let go and let God." Just think about letting a dove fly. And I would always think about like the ark, and Moses, and they let that dove go, and it came back with a branch in its mouth, right? And you think about that, but that branch, they got that branch because they are going from one place to another, maybe build a nest, right? Sometimes in our trips to authenticity, we have to be free. I went and I saw Elvis this weekend with Virginia, and let me tell you, Austin Butler does it. I mean, let me tell you, he does an amazing job. I'll tell you, amazing job. It just really blows your. I keep hearing something. I guess it's my dogs. I don't know. Um, amazing job, amazing job. But all right, so let's get back to the Selkie. All right. La, la, la. It seems that if you remember all that's been taken from you, your heart could break and you could die. We feel like that sometimes. We feel like, oh my God, I can't handle it. If I remember it, I'm gonna break. I'm gonna lose it. Okay. The Selkie story speaks very deeply of the divine feminine and the innate need for women to be free in choosing who to be with, to be free with in raising their children, to have sisters to dance with, and to worship beneath the moon. Okay, that tells me we need to pull moon book card before we leave. So we're going to do that. It speaks of crime. It speaks of the crime of seeking to possess and to capture anything that is free. Okay, so if you feel trapped, caught in a trap, right? Watch them ping me for that. I got pinged last week for my own songs. That's craziness. Okay. From the all right. Okay. It speaks of the crime of seeking to possess and to capture anything that is free, and of keeping us from the element of water. Again, the ocean, water, Atlantis and Lemuria. What are they surrounded by? Water, right? Water. And depending on what interpretations you have of Atlantis, they have these. Some people are like, oh, it had like these moats. So not only was there land, right? There was land, but it was also water. So earth and water. And what do we have else here? We had air. So breathing deep, entering into life, exchange of life bringing energies. Now, I read something the other day in one of these books. I got to find it. I think it's in the White Light Oracle. About how to when you are lost, when you feel like you need to just reconnect and reground yourself, right? Right when you do that. What in the hell? Where did my skulls go? Oh, here they are. Again, some pyrite, right? You need to meditate and look at it and be like, okay. It's also really great to have a cool thing on your head, right? It just feels cool, right? But we want that freedom. We want that freedom. We want to reclaim the authenticity. It's very important. Very, very important. From our womb sanctity, from our emotional watery selves, to keep us on land rather than in the flow. So sometimes, if you think about Atlantis, right, and the moats, right, think about people, and we don't know how big the land masses were, right? We don't know if it was like this or like that. We don't know, right? And some people are like, oh, Atlantis is just a frequency. It's a frequency that has, you know, encapsulated so many myths, and there could have been this island out there that was highly advanced, right? And one person read about this, and Plato was told about this, and blah blah blah, right? History is written by the victors, right? And if someone wanted us to know about Atlantis, besides what Plato wrote, right? They would have the victors would have put it out there. It would have been big, right? So you got to think about that too. When you work with that frequency, is it a warning? And it just thundered again. Is it a warning? When you work with the water frequency, the cleansing frequency, right? Are you honoring the divine masculine and the divine feminine, right? Are you breathing? Are you keeping the freedom right where it needs to be? It's very, very important. Are you entering into the exchange of life? Are you giving to life? Are you giving to life? If you're not giving to life, then you're giving away from life. We want to give to life. We want to give to the beauty of life. It's very, very important that we give to the beauty of life. It speaks to the crime of seeking to possess and to capture anything that is free, and of keeping us from the element of water, from our womb sanctity, from our emotional watery selves, to keep us on land rather than in the flow. It is true that this love of feminine brings bounty and balance, fortune and favor to men and as well as women. We are all robbed if she is stolen from. Likewise, we are all liberated when she is sovereign and made sacred. If this card has come to you today, it's time to dance, to be free, and to join the groups of women who wish to simply be. Free to dance under the moonlight, free of dogma, even of political correctness at the time, without children, without relationships, and without other couples around you. The joy of being single, of being free, a time to leave family and partners for a while, to claim your sea skin back. Choose safe environments. Do not trust people who come to you at this time and want to take care of you. This baby code for wishing to capture you. Go to a place where you are among your own gender, where you can be nurtured by contact with your own kind. Find a sacred place to visit and commit to a regular timeout in a safe haven. It is now time for you to support and encourage the freedom of other humans and creatures. Amen. When we do this, our own freedom becomes more natural to us. Make a donation for seal conservation. Do not support practices or companies that benefit the seal hunts that take place. Visit the land of the Selkie lore and legend, the Orkney Islands in the far north of Scotland, Iceland, the Scandinavians, Northern Ireland, and our cold seas, or travel and visions, past life memories and dreams, and set your Selkie soul free. All right. Cool. That was interesting. All right. All right. So we'll put that frequency up here. All right. Boom. All right. I feel like Yamaha wants to say something, so let's just figure out what it is. I guess we had to go in the rivers and oceans first. I guess what we had to do. Is that what we had to do before we get to Atlantis, Lemuria? I guess that's maybe we're just going to be like in this earth and ocean thing for a little while, and then maybe in a week or two we'll pull in this deck. Message: Yimaha, the godmother ocean, primordial. We wish to share with you the knowledge of the old ones, the Orisha. The Yimaha is often depicted as a mermaid, a vast primordial mermaid with a star shining from her head. A mermaid of power who gives birth to the world. Though her, we remember mermaid energy is not simply light, flirtatious, and sexual. Mermaid energy symbolizes the birth of the world through water. Okay. Even though we mermaids think we are merely creatures of delight and sensuality, Yima's power and recognition is growing and beginning to ignite in all of us. She's like a beam of light, reminding us of our great age, our strength, and many, many lessons we have learned, and how we can bring so much more birth in the world. She returns the old ones who is part human, part ocean creature, and all humans are born of her. Her mirror is her doorway and the entry point into the unseen world. Her tail is the womb from which we are all born. That's interesting. The salt water is that which we are all suspended in, that which gives life and oxygen to this world on land. And she taught us all. She birthed all the sea creatures, and she was fast, the island chains, but the scales upon her tail, volcano her belly. And so I think what this is talking about is we're getting ready to get to that. Like, so we're talking about what she created, right? It, and the spiritual capacity. All face, all permutations of existence. We mermaids love Yima. She is a great merbeing, the mother of us all. Feeling drawn to underwater or sea people archaeology. I mean, come on, y'all. This is no joke. Exploring the past, truly ancient history, alternate Earth and all Earth history. Understanding the power of the sea and respecting deeply female divinity in all forms, human, animal, all creatures. Exploring your own power and exploring that you can birth and empower. Understanding the landscape and seeing the divine in the curve of the hill and the belly of the mountain and the womb of the sea. Developing interest in Santeria, the other things, the lines which blur across belief systems. Looking to become more primal, to reconnect with your ancient self. Taking care of yourself at a very ancient and deep level and beginning to relate to people in a deeper self rather than their social and often constructed self. Third eye and crown chakras highly activated. Okay, so where's my thing? I feel like some stuff was just like hidden today. I don't know. It's really weird. Huh. I don't know where the other one went. That's crazy. That's crazy, Pants. Maybe it's over here. Nope. It's like someone doesn't want the music to be played. But you know what? I have a big. All right. All right. So, all right. That's good. All right. I find it funny how the universe works sometimes, right? I find it funny. I think we all do. But I think we had to do ocean and mermaid first before we got to Atlantis. And so that's what we're doing. So, we'll take it. Take me as I am. All right. Here we go. Let's pull some more of these crystal cards like this. Let's see what we got. Labradorite. Ain't that funny? It's right here, my labradorite spider. This is free will. The Master Crystal. Enter my light, accept my truths and blessings, for in darkness of my physical form I hide the endless lights of the universe. I am infinite resource of all that was and can be. Let us reopen the doors of understanding, so that you may see again the power of change rest in your hands. Go forth, light the torch of free will, and create. Raise your hands in the bright burning body of Ra. Wow, we're getting some Egypt here. Ra, God, Christ. Call in forth a single ray that can filter into the crown. So let's do that. Let's call that in. Let's call in those rays, that Christ consciousness. Let's call that in. All right. Feel me run through you and remove outer influence. Not me. Feel the universe. Run through you and remove the outer influence, refining the focus on the ultimate goal of self-work. Again, we talked about the Selkie. We talked about that, reclaiming the authenticity. Then we talked about the freedom. So a lot of this, I think, today, and I just go with what the universe gives me, right, is we're talking about free will, right? We're talking about honoring the masculine. We're talking about learning how to enter into life and into exchange of life. So, and looking at Mother Ocean and looking at the love that we have with Ocean. I hope no one's over on the Sootsy Bootsy station. And they're like, hey, Sootsy Bootsy. Hold on. I think I'm getting messages. Oh, no. We'll see. All right. All right. And my sound came back on. That's weird. Okay. I'm telling you, it's been a weird day, guys. It's been a weird. It's been a weird day, but that's okay. That's all right. Okay. Raise your hands to the bright and burning body of the light. Call it forth a single ray into the crown. Feel that energy run through and remove the outer influence. So when that light hits, boom, you're like, oh, I just want the light inside me. I just need the light inside me. Let me feel the warmth, like when we're grounded ourselves. So imagine you standing there, guys, standing out there, doing a sun salute, right? And just standing out there in the sun, feeling that warmth upon your third eye. Let it get a little intense. To feel your feet get warm too. The challenge, even when you're wearing shoes, if you can feel that warmth in your feet, you're like, ooh, grounded. As above, so below. I am here. I am here. When we talk about Atlantis, we talk about Lemuria, we got to talk about the distances, right? We got to talk about the differences, right? I was reading something, and I can pull it out. I'll probably pull it out next week, about how there's so many different people who are like claiming to be. They have ideas that cultures that we put in the highest of the highest of the high come from Lemuria. So, and Atlantis, like I said, I think a lot of Atlantis is you have to be very, very careful that you don't get Titania'd, right? You don't fall in love with the first thing you see when you wake up. Like Oberon says to Titania, when he curses, he says, "Thou shalt not from this grove till I torment thee for this injury, my Gentile Puck, come hither. Thou rememberest Cupid all armed, a certain aim he took. It fell upon a little western flower, before milk white, now purple with love's wound. Fetch me that flower, the herb I showed thee once. The juice of it on sleeping eyelids laid will make man or a woman madly dote upon the next first live creature that it sees. Fetch me this herb, and Leviathan comes from a league." Right? And so Puck fetches it, and they put it on Titania's eyes. And the first thing she wakes up to is a guy with the the head of an ass. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to have you don't want to think, oh, Atlantis is so beautiful and oh, it's this and all that. It is a tale about pride. It is a tale about comeuppance. It is a tale about receipts. Okay. It is beautiful. Like you can type in Atlantis and you can type in people have made billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars off of this topic, right? I mean, I've got into it too. Like, oh my God, there's like a Lemurian crystal. Oh my God, that's a great low crystal. Oh my God, it's like this. It costs like $200. No, it shouldn't cost $200, right? Um, you know, so know your prices on your crystals and your stones and everything. If you're trying to support your community, that's another thing. So that's good. Support your local community and your stores. Do that. Do that, please. Labradorite free will, right? I read about labradorite also representing like the aurora borealis, so that's pretty cool. Uh, so the cell. Okay, excuse me. Labradorite is a multicolored iridescent stone that changes its coloration as you change the angle you view it from. All right, so let's look. Okay. The way it dances in the light is similar to opal, though labradorite is much more robust, cheaper, and usually contains more golden ray. When the first gaze at labradorite, it shimmers and dances in many different colors, seemingly restless and inconsistent. Okay. What is it? What is that? Seemingly restless and inconsistent. What people are who are like that are wanting freedom. They need to be free. So I think that goes back to, and then we talk about the Selkie and her skin. Stepping into your authenticity. And every piece of labradorite, when viewed from a certain angle, becomes a peaceful and still, usually also containing just one color. In this way, labradorite has become known as the magician's stone or the stone of free will. I learn something new every day when I do this show. Um, it takes the unfocused, unscattered, and overactive mind that is unaware of its creations and infuses order. So, say that you are distracted. Say you have a suspicious mind, right? And you're like, what? I don't know. I'm confused. I'm confused. I don't understand, right? And what you want to do is you want to bring that balance in. So maybe get some labradorite, right? Find something that you like. I have a lot of labradorite right now. I never thought I would have this much, right? But I have my shaman, which I call was about this big, about that thick. It's huge. All right. It's so funny. It says it takes unfocused, and I'm a little bit unfocused. I apologize. Unfocused, scattered, overactive mind that is unaware of its creations and infuses order, focus, and intellectual thought, blended with intuitive wisdoms of the spirit. Well, I am the intuitive storyteller. This is not only allows us to be responsible, take charge of our creations, and therefore the ownership of our free will, but can deliver us to our own life path and offer one spiritual purpose. It's also one of the few crystals that, by regulating the input of light, is able to integrate the intonations of the path of ascension, preparing the body and spirit to unite. Labradorite is a sacred stone of Thoth. So Thoth, Egypt. So Egypt's coming up. So I think we're probably gonna get some Egypt cards too in the near future. We have one down here, but I think we're gonna have to pull. I think we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go look and to see what we're gonna do with that. Melchizedek, and I think Melchizedek came in last week, if I'm not mistaken. Kuthmi and Saint Germain. This is the stone of truth, allowing one to recognize the seeds of disease, disharmony, thoughts, and actions in the world that just activate powerful healing. A potent protection stone, it removes the influence of others from the energy field and infuses imaginative and original thought that rebuilds one path, reflecting their purpose. So I want you to imagine that spider here, right? The spider here is shooting those little lines, pew, 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 and making the web for you. and bringing in that energy. So even in Atlantean times, labradorite was said to have extraterrestrial origins today. It's still a powerful facilitator of intergalactic communication. All right. Hello, Jill Jade. Oh, Jill Jade. I apologize. Hello, Jill Jade. What's up, JJ? All right. Today it says still intergalactic communication, especially linked to Pleiades. There's a great Pleiades deck, Pleiadian Oracle deck. I haven't got that yet. That's something else I want to get. The Syrians able to anchor their often highly evolved concepts on the Earth for the betterment of mankind. Labradorite is Moldavite's earthbound counterpart. So I have, and Moldavite is very, very expensive. Real good Moldavite is very expensive. Make sure you go see Autumn at Journey There Wands, right? Also, Soul Synergy here in good old Mississippi. So check them out. All right. The physical energy system must be prepared by labradorite or Moldavite's work will be limited. Okay. So, all right. We got 3 people watching, so I think that pulls in some Atlantean cards. Okay. That's all right. Okay, sorry. I saw the Elf movie today, and my wife wants to take me to Graceland. I've never been to Graceland, but she's like, "We're going to Graceland." I was like, "Ah!" I told her we're going to SummerSlam in Nashville. She's like, "No, we're not. We're going to Graceland." So we'll see when that happens. All right. So we pulled some Atlantean cards. We have 3 cards here. Y'all know how the thing is. I've been doing this whole thing where I see if the cards, because I had a plan today. I love this. We have a plan. We're like, sure, Jill. Sure, JJ. Just hold on. Please, please, please. All right. And this is a great deck. This is Atlantis Oracle deck from Marie Alita, illustrated by Nicole Payne. 45 Oracle deck card and guidebook. It's hard to find a really good deck of cards for Atlantis. I think I have most all of them. I'm trying to make sure that these cards that I pull, I can't see. Oh, you're kindly welcome. All right. Okay. So, ready? Close my eyes. I'm going to close my eyes. Close my eyes. And if y'all see this one of these cards, y'all like, that's my card. That's my card. That's my card. Let me have my card. All right, ready? All right. So we got some mermaid energy, right? We got some mermaid energy. We have some Atlantean energy here. We've talked about the air of life giving. We've talked about freedom. We've done a lot here. We're gonna throw out 3 cards for Atlantean energy here to set the rest of the show. All right, here we go. First card, dedicated to service, priest and priestess. Now, I want you to look at this card here, and I want you to see it. Now, what this tells me is someone here probably has a past life in the priesthood, or they felt like they may have been a sacred, what I call a sacred reader, or someone highly in tune with spirituality, right? And I think maybe that partially is why you're opposed. People who know how a hot dog is made don't eat hot dogs. I love hot dogs. I know how they're made, but still. Okay. All right. Marriage, commitment to self and others. So if we talk about this, I want y'all to look at this. It's almost an identical card. Look at that. We had air earlier, right? So what that tells me is there's some issues going on with commitment, right? And what's going on. So when you're diving deep in your ocean of humanity and you're trying to find out, why can't I commit? Why can't I commit? Why am I so scared of commitment? It could be to a job, it could be to a person, it could be to faith, it could be to a belief system, it could be to Republican or Democratic Party, it could be anything, right? Anything. But we have to learn how to commit. Okay. Put these two up here. And what's over here we call the auric field, what I call the auric field. So all this stuff that's being put up there is going to be set up for the auric field for y'all this week. So we're talking about self-authenticity. We're talking about devotion, right? So funny, the card that I picked today from the Woodland Creatures. I don't know where that deck is. Oh, it's down here. That we had last week. And this is not open yet either. The Oracle of Ascendants. But we'll see. We'll see. I just feel like maybe this Lemurian book might come out on Tuesday or next Sunday. We'll see. It's so funny. My wife will be. I was like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And Virginia's so smart. She's like, you gotta learn how to wait. I was like, yeah, I know. So we'll see. All right, here we go. Guardians. Okay. Protect, serve, and defend. So with this goes also with priests. So I feel like somebody here may have been related to either law enforcement or was a defender of the faith. So there's two things here that may incline. So let's see. Caught in a trap. We're gonna awaken a far memory. Oh, a renaissance. The rebirth of European civilization began in Florence under the Medicis, particularly Cosimo, 1389, 1464, and his grandson Lorenzo the Magnificent, who charged Mauricio Fico, translator and progenitor of Plato's teachings. Holy shit! Y'all, look at this. We're talking about Atlantis, and we got Plato. Come on! Come on, that's awesome. Okay. Sorry, I got excited. And others were seeking out and rescuing classical Greek writers that had long been lost to the West. The Renaissance owed much to the fall of Constantinople, the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, to the Turks in the year 1453. The apparent disaster of the West generated a new, larger influx of educated Greeks into Italy as refugees. Their presence in Italy provided an immense stimulus to the general intellectual rebirth that was characteristic of the period. This opened the way of growth of an intellectual freedom from the dictates of an unenlightened religious hierarchy, a liberation that is not completely achieved. Greek scholars fleeing from the Turks have brought thousands of Greek manuscripts to Italy even before the fall of Constantinople in 1453. Earlier still, in 1204 CE, a Franciscan Venetian crusader fleet captured and looted Constantinople, and for 60 years thereafter, Italians had access to great libraries there, although regrettably much was destroyed by a fire at the time of the invasion. So what that tells me is, if you have a question about, oh, should I wait? Should I stay? Or should I? Right? What I would do is, with that waiting period, it seems that you're going to be at a point where you might be on the precipice of a rebirth. So if you engage your situation correctly and guard yourself correctly, but be authentic and embrace your freedom, right? Then you're going to allow yourself to what they're talking about next, which is the Renaissance literally means rebirth. Was an era of explosive intellectual growth as well as expansion of the arts, centered in, but by no means limited to Italy. This was also a period of great turmoil. And that's usually what happens. When you have a great period of rebirth, there's also people who are going to oppose that because they're not rebirthing like they want you to rebirth. Okay? That's just the bottom line. They're like, I feel like we can rebirth like this. And then somebody says, I feel like we can rebirth like that. I feel like we can birth like this. Right? So it's very, very important. It's very, very important that you understand your understand where you are. So if you're at that point where you can move, or if you have a marriage of thoughts or a marriage of convenience, right? It could be a marriage, that could be job, it could be I've never felt comfortable in the church I'm in, right? But I'm devoted. And a lot of times that can be because of a past life weight. Okay. So you got to be aware of that. When I do my deep dives, right? People say, well, I love God and I love Christ and but I also think it's really fascinating that people can take 4 cards and they can read more about me than my lover knows about me, and I want to know more about that. That's why metaphysics and spirituality get us so well. They just put their hooks in us because it's an unknown, right? It's like looking at the spider, the labradorite spider, right? If you look at it from every different angle, you'll see something different, right? Okay. Many minor wars were constantly being fought between cities and petty principalities. This was during the Renaissance. The period also saw the gradual breakup of the feudal system, the spread of literacy with the independent invention of the movable type by Jonathan Gutenberg, 1398 to 1468. So you may say, hey, I'm looking for a frequency as a writer, right? I'm looking for a frequency as a storyteller. Well, hell, here's a frequency. Johann Gutenberg, right? The printing press, right? Isn't that right? The movable type by Johann, 1398 to 1468. The progressive liberation of the peasants from servitude and the growth both. This is so great. The progressive liberation. We're talking about freedom earlier. So you have these ideas. I want to be free. I need to be free. And then you realize that you were never locked up, that you locked yourself up. You put yourself in a prison. You put yourself in a prison, you lock yourself up, and you throw away the key, or you put yourself in a tower, right? I've had so many people I know who just lock themselves up in a tower, and they're like, I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely. Right? And you don't know. You don't know. So this was an exciting time. It was colorful and it was dangerous. Freedom can be colorful, dangerous, and exciting. Working with Atlantis frequency energies, right? That's why I say when you're going deep. So I was working. I opened the Awakening Farm Memory. Is what I sometimes do that, JJ. I like to because you can't make this up, and I just let the universe. I just open a page, right? It's not. You can see it's not tagged or anything. I just open the page and see where the universe goes and what the universe will put out there. And we were talking about freedom, priest, and devotion, right? If you look at the Renaissance, there was a lot of devotion. There was a lot of marriages of different ideas and ideals. That's why when people see this card and are reading, they're like, "Oh my God, I'm getting married! Oh my God, I'm only 18! I don't understand. I'm confused. Why am I getting married at 18? What, huh? I don't understand. Help me, help me, help me, help me. And you're like, oh, no. No, that's not what that means. It could be a marriage of ideas. It could be a marriage of convenience. It could be a marriage of jobs. It could be a marriage of, like, so just, but a lot of times marriage, you have a masculine and a feminine energy with that. So working with those two. And understand, it's not about sex, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about that. What it's about is the frequency. Okay? Okay? This was exciting and colorful and dangerous time that undoubtedly left a mark on your individual psyche. So it could be very much, one of you on here could be very much attached to the Renaissance. Now, if you look at Atlantis and you look at what like Plato wrote, and I'll be first to admit, I am not an Atlantean expert. There are people out there who, woof, let me tell you, they'll be like, I am an Atlantean expert. I am an Atlantean expert, for I am a Lemurian king. Right? I'm not that. This may well provide you with access to apparent lies associated with this time, giving you an opportunity once more better to understand your truer nature. Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about before we start looking at these cards is the forest. Many of your apparent projections into this life have been passed in a forest environment. So a lot of you watching right now, and I feel like this is going to be watched by a lot of other people. That's what I love about this. So like and share this video, tag your friends, be like, hey, there's this crazy guy from Mississippi who reads to us like we're kids, who pulls cards, who opens decks, right? But yeah, I feel like this is next week. I gotta learn. I guess I gotta learn some discipline. I'm sorry. In the earlier periods of physical evolution, as a true forest creature, you actually experience life in the trees, subsisting primarily on fruits, nuts, seeds, and insects. In the course of time, you also experience the so-called lives as a hunter or gatherer, charged with the responsibility of finding food for yourself and your family. So you may be like, I'm looking for something. I've got to provide. Like, I feel like someone right now is like, I feel like if I don't do this, I can't provide for my family. If I can't provide for my family, how can I have a family? I have commitments. I have things I have to do. Right? During such embodiments, your emancipated personality may have been far closer to nature than you find yourself to be in your present incarnation. That's probably me. Forests are often associated in folklore as a home to magical kingdoms of elves, fairy, and nature spirits. Can't be a coincidence that I did a monologue from Midsummer's Night Dream where we're talking about fairies. King Oberon is the king of the fairies, and Titania is queen of the fairies. You may have acquired a sense of wonder, respect, and deep connectedness to the wooded glens from encounters with such energies and other apparent existences. If you look upon a forested environment with nostalgia, yearning still for peace, that may be found when alone in a grove or glade, you may find it helpful to focus your attention on the feelings of this kind. So working with trees, we talked about that last week, working with grounding. The great thing about the Atlantean energy, right, that we talk about, is it's earth and it's water. So it's flow and it's ground, right? We're not talking about sky, we're not talking about air, we're talking about earth and water, right? So grounding, fluidity. Now that's going to be when you drink. That's like that's like taking a shot, and you're like, that's a strong. Whoa, that's a. It's like taking a shot of Jägermeister, like, boom. Because you're gonna raise your glass, you're gonna raise your flask, you're gonna raise whatever suits your task. For me, it's Coca-Cola or Gatorade now, right? But it's that strong. So when you feel that, when you ever look at a forest, right? Like for me, I had a long time fear of water, and during a deep dive, right, a past life regression, I realized that part of my frequency held responsibility for what happened in Atlantis. Now, that's not saying, oh, hey, because when someone tells you that, you're like, oh, because your little brain thinks, oh wait, you're saying that's not Atlantis? Is that what you're saying? That's no, right? That could translate to this though. I blame myself for a lot of stuff, and at the time I did, right? Again, you have to work when you work with these energies and these frequencies. You have to realize what they are. There's a reason why there's a medical symbol on here. I'm not a doctor, right? But if you look at it, right? Who is that? Look at Athena. Look at Athena coming in. Goddess of wisdom. Isn't that cool? All right. Got that owl energy, or as they call it, the nighttime eagle, right? That's pretty cool. And the book just changed, y'all. That's crazy. So as Athena pulled in, all right, if y'all don't know, Athena was born from Zeus, right? Zeus had a headache, right? And when Zeus had a headache, Athena popped out, fully emerged. Now I want y'all to see this because I can't make this shit up. Do y'all see that? That is a thunderbolt. That's what that is. Power. So let's read about it. The symbol of the thunderbolt or lightning strike indicates an emancipated parent lifetime characterized by the possession and exercise of power over oneself and or over others. This power may have been physical, mental, psychic, or spiritual. You can put all the olds there, not just that, okay? You must know, however, with this power comes responsibility. Someone's been watching a little bit of Spider-Man, but that's okay. The incarnate personality's greatest problem was and remains the need to exercise firm control over itself and not to abuse the weak and defenseless. Much adverse karma can result from these unique situations, but all is forgiven in the end. There is no purgatory or hell, just another chance to do better this time. Well, I have to disagree. I think there probably is a purgatory, there is a hell. But we have another chance to do better this time. Okay? So, again, this is a great little book. If you want to know about past lives and such, there's not a lot of like decks out there, but this comes with a great little card deck. So, put that up. Okay. Cool. All right. So, all right, pull some more Atlantean cards. Look at this. Oracle C. No. Me. Again, this talks about woman, that female frequency. And men. Wow. I said men, Hercules appears. Ain't that some coolness? Hercules appears. Strength, courage, and power. And what we talked about earlier, we talked about power. We talked about power, right? And so if you feel like you have issues with taking on leadership roles, it may be a past life weight where you were abusive in power. And in this life, you're like, nope, don't want that. Nope, don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want that. I want this. I want to live a good life. This. I want to live a good life. I want to be a good one. I want to be the good one, right? And when we think about that, we think about wealth. We think about wealth. Now, the golden pathway is always rewarding. I debate this because I think that, when you talk about the golden pathway, and that's why this comes with a book. It's a great little book. I'll read some of the book next week. But you have this big thing of citrine. I'm going to show y'all what's right over here because y'all won't believe this. See this? See this? Look at that. Frequencies, you put frequencies around you, they're gonna be attracted to one another. That's the bottom line. That's just a thing how it goes. All right. Oh, y'all, look. Ain't this craziness? Mermaid Council. Okay. So, mythical memory, mystical messages. All right. Wisdom comes full circle. I like it. We put that in the auric field for all of us this week. All right. So we have some cards here. Let's be quick about it because it's almost 10 o'clock. We ready? These are all very mysterious. All right. Something tells me heart. That's what I'm feeling. Heart. You have earned your wings. So the butterfly. So butterfly. So you open your heart, and what happens? You think about the butterfly. You think about the heart. You think about cutting down its two wings. So the heart is a symbol. The butterfly is a symbol of the heart. Think about that. Like boom, right? Think about that. Transformation. You've earned your wings. Okay. This talks about. This one feels more sage-like. Ha ha! Truth prevails in the end. What will we have? Lightning. What do we had? Power. So what that tells me is one of you has a Zeus frequency kicking in, probably. So that's cool. So we have a justice and we have change. So justice and change are coming this week. We're gonna have some changes and some justice stuff. So that's good. This one feels more about, I'm gonna say like existence, but more about, it's more personal for people. Yeah, Crystal Keeper. Unlock your secrets. So your secrets are your personal, right? How you communicate with people is personal, right? It's very personal. All right. Okay. So I saw this one. So, all right. Experiments, manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty, and the pursuit of knowledge or arrogance. So this feels like there's a storm coming, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know exactly what to say, but it feels like bad hurricane. I see a young person just watching like this massive storm coming. So let's pray for all the people and all the first responders, right? I got something in my, you know, like when you have gargle and salt, right? That's what I just had in my mouth. So this feels, this feels like something is more almost hitting. I don't know. It's really weird. Sanctuary. We talked about this earlier. I think sanctuary was up here. Privacy, personal space, respected boundaries. Like I said, personal. Boom, hitting. Right. Okay, this one card was up. Corell's wisdom. We got a lot of wisdom. So we got Athena in here. So I think what it's telling us is next week or on Tuesday over on the Phoenix Rising Network, we may need to be talking about some ascension stuff. So we might use the ascension cards on Tuesday. We'll just see. Colony, delicacy, fragility, works that are created over great periods of time. We talked about the Renaissance earlier, right? So that gives us a great insight, right? If you look at this in the back, it looks more like a forest. We talked about the forest. So this could be, we talked about earlier, water too and streams. So if you look at this, you can see, right? And then going back to Mother Yima, right? So Mother Yima, and you have these lightning bolts, right? Right, and so when we have truth prevails in the end, right? So this truth is going to be very shocking, and it's going to be very powerful. But I highly believe that there's going to be major storms in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I think, and a lot of people are going to have to find sanctuary. So it could be now. One spirit just told me it could be personal storms, right? And it could be It could be almost what it feels like man-made storms. So we don't know what that necessarily means, but what we're going to do is we're going to send frequency. We're going to respect people's privacy. Right? That's something that's very important to do. You got to respect people's privacy and not violate personal space. As an intuitive, you have to learn that's very important. You can't just violate personal space. You have to learn that this is that's your place. Your either your screen, your world, wherever they come into, is a safe place, is a haven. And speaking of haven, that's something. This next card feels like it's a addition to sanctuary. I don't know, it's weird. Sacrifice. So that would make sense. Sometimes you have to sacrifice to be safe, and you don't want to. You have to do things you don't want to do. There are those worth making, and there are those worth making, and there are those that will destroy you. And so, I think if we look at the world as we see it, Hercules had labors, right? A priest and a priestess have vows and devotions. Guardians also have to have a sacrifice they do. They're sacrificing for the community, they're sacrificing for the way of life and what they believe in. You have to use wisdom, going back to Athena. So all this happens. But how do you come back up without getting the bends? Nice and slow and professionally. You got to come up. You got to breathe right, breathe in. Feel your body. Breathe out. Right? Breathe in. Breathe out. So what we do, we suit up, we show up, we soldier on, and we soak it up. Onward, upward, greatness abounds, soak up the humanity, create your art, make your impact with the army of now, the army of tomorrow. Make sure you go see Elvis this weekend. Make sure you're watching Evil on Paramount Plus. Make sure you're enjoying Umbrella Academy on Netflix. Highly recommend it. If you have not watched if you have not watched Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel, excuse me, on Disney Plus, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. On Tuesday, we're probably going to talk about a little bit of Ascension, probably. I might bring the mermaid card back out again. I feel like that's going to be a thing going on. I think for the next couple of weeks, we're going to do mermaids and ocean and water and that kind of stuff. So remember, truth prevails all the time. Truth prevails. Unlock your secrets and be the change you can be. Set it free. Set it free. Remember, set it free. Uga Sooth. Y'all be great. I'll see you next week. Suit signing out.